All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something pretty wild today. A powerful idea that connects the logic of our phones and computers directly to the deepest, most complex parts of our own minds. It's a story about how a technical glitch is becoming a very human condition. So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with this glitch in the machine. Then we'll see how that idea gives birth to what's called the overfitted subject, which is powered by a new kind of digital superego. From there, we'll look at the consequences, this saturated self. And finally, we'll talk about how we might just be able to rescue our own unpredictability. Okay, so to really get this, we have to start in the world of technology, specifically with a very particular kind of error that happens in machine learning. It's called overfitting, and, in simple terms, it's basically when an AI learns too well. Imagine you're teaching it to spot cats. An overfitted AI doesn't learn the idea of a cat. Instead, it just perfectly memorizes every single pixel of the cat photos you showed it. It becomes a genius about the past, but the second you show it a new cat, it's completely clueless. It learned the noise, not the music. And this is where things take a turn, right? This is the big leap. What happens when that technical glitch, that inability to handle anything new, stops being about an algorithm and starts describing us? Well, that brings us to the core idea we're exploring today, this concept of the overfitted subject. And just look at this parallel, it's kind of stunning. On one side, you've got a machine learning a set of data. Simple enough. But on the other side, you've got a person who becomes perfectly, almost pathologically, adapted to the dataset of their own digital life. Their past clicks, their old likes. You're no longer just feeding the model. You are becoming the model. And this isn't just a metaphor. It's describing a feeling I think we all kind of know. We become this vectorized individual, just a collection of data points. We get stuck in this personalization loop where the algorithm shows us what it thinks we like, we click on it, which just confirms to the algorithm that we like it, and on it goes. The result? We become super predictable, statistically stable, but on the inside, existentially fragile. We lose that ability for genuine surprise, for wonder. This image just nails it. See, in computer programming, an orphaned object is a bit of data that gets created, but then the program loses track of it. It's just floating there. Well, psychologically, our digital profiles, our entire online history, become these objects. We make them, but then the algorithm sort of traps us or orphans us inside the very patterns we created. So, what's the engine driving this whole process? What's the psychological force that's overfitting us to ourselves? Well, to get at that, we need to dust off an old idea from Freud, the superego, and give it a major digital age update. Think about the classic superego. It's that little voice inside your head, the one born from childhood rules and authority. It's the internal judge that says, you must not, don't do that, you shouldn't. It's all about prohibition. But what's emerging now is this operational superego. It's not internal, it's external. It's the algorithmic system that's always watching, always directing. And its main command isn't no, it's enjoy. And that's the absolute crucial point here. This new kind of authority doesn't work by telling you what you can't have. It works by relentlessly demanding that you have a good time. Watch the next episode, buy this thing, engage with this post, you're gonna love it. It's an order that's cleverly disguised as a friendly suggestion. Okay, so what happens to us when we're constantly being commanded to enjoy ourselves? Well, it has this profound and, frankly, kind of destabilizing effect on our inner world. It leads to what we can call the saturated self. Now, this might sound a little abstract, but hang with me. A core idea in psychoanalysis is that real human desire doesn't come from getting exactly what you want. It actually grows out of a sense of lack, a kind of structural void or empty space inside us. Desire needs that emptiness to even exist. But you know what hates an empty space? An algorithm. So what does it do? It creates a shortcut. It totally bypasses that complicated, messy journey of human desire. It sees our data, predicts what we want, and just serves it to us on a silver platter. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. That subjective void, that's the essential empty space we were just talking about. The algorithm sees it as a bug, a problem to be fixed, so it saturates it, constantly flooding it with an endless stream of recommendations, content, and notifications just to make sure that void is never, ever empty. And the result of all this is what you could call a collapse of lack. that space for genuine desire just gets paved over. Now, on paper, we look satisfied. The metrics show we're clicking, watching, consuming. But we're left deeply fragile because we're being shielded from the very unexpected, non-optimized encounters that are absolutely necessary for us to grow and discover who we really are.
So, when you put it all together, what's really at stake here? I mean, this is so much bigger than just getting a few bad recommendations online. This is about the fundamental architecture of ourselves.
There's a real price to pay for being overfitted. First, the truly unexpected, the messy, the difficult, the traumatic, it all gets filtered out for a smoother experience. And when you get rid of the unexpected, you're also eliminating uncertainty, which, by the way, is the only place where real freedom and choice can actually happen. And finally, you just kill off wonder. That capacity to be genuinely surprised by the world, or even by yourself, just withers away. So the goal, the way out, isn't about finding a better algorithm. It's about fighting to restore a version of ourselves that's actually capable of having an authentic encounter with the world in all its messy, unpredictable glory. It's about reclaiming the parts of us that aren't just a pattern of clicks and likes. And really, that leaves all of us with a final, massive question to think about in our own lives. In a world that's dead set on learning us, optimizing us, and fitting us perfectly to a model of who we were yesterday, how on earth do we protect our basic human right to not be predictable? How do we save some space for the person we might become tomorrow?